You're laughing your ass off at my team.
There's also...
shut up!
He's going to be the number one average you play from this year in the fourth.
No chance.
Maybe besides Dylan Moore.
No chance.
Okay. No, Cornwall's got, Dylan Moore, that's it.
No chance. There's no chance.
I don't like his release, so stop talking about it.
I didn't say it once, but since you brought it up... Francis!
I just got
Francis!
I just got concussed.
Doesn't care.
Tom Mitchell doesn't contest the tug. Oh, the ball! Thomas kicks the winning goal and he got 140. Vice captain, right now.
Welcome back to the SuperCoach Masters, first potty of the year, and I'm here with the SuperCoach God. SuperCoach God, how you going?
Yeah, good mate. Happy to be on.
Happy to be here, mate. I'm still on holiday mode, so it's good to have someone that's not stinky and ugly on the podcast for once, and go over some Rucks.
Yep. Pumped. Can't wait.
Can't wait, mate. How's the Ruck situation? I don't know if you've done a team reveal yet, but or if that's a bit of secret stuff, but how's your Ruck situation? Has it moved much since you first got it in?
It has a bit. I've had teams where I've had Sherry and TDK and Flynn at the flex. I've had Flynn not at the flex, and at the moment it's TDK and Flynn in the ruck line and no Sherry. So
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, mate. So a lot of the most owned looks like it's going to be. Get straight into it, mate. No fucking around. Let's just get straight into it. Tristan, Sherry, and Tom the Koning's the most popular ruck as soon as this buddy loads. And look, mate, it would be. Is it a bit crazy not to start with Sherry this year? Is there any reason why you wouldn't have Sherry in your team? I'll take up this glass. I don't want to look like a complete tosser all podcast.
Yeah, it could be stupid not starting him, but I think I'm going to take the risk. I think obviously he had a breakout year last year, and he played every game. He averaged 120, and he only had 3 scores under 100. So he's Mr. Consistent. Yeah, I think he's a great pick this year. Haven't got him in my team at the moment though.
You don't have Sherry in your team.
No.
You're planning on starting the year with the anus pretty sore, I imagine then.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Fair enough, man. Look, I know Sherry got a lot of his points from tackles last year. He's in the top 5 or top 10 something tackles in the competition. And I'm pretty sure the top 5 from every previous year hasn't been able to replicate the top 5 tackles from the previous year or something similar like that. And for a big man like Sherry to get that, I can see that. But for me, Tristan Sherry, he really peaked towards the end. I don't think we saw his full powers until we saw the last half of the year. What if he carries that last half of the year into the first half and second half of 2025?
Then I'm stuffed. But yeah, I don't know. The thing with Sherry is I see more value in other picks in the ruck line that which normally we prioritize. We prioritize the ruck line for the highest priced players, and we spend all our money there. But yeah, I'm trying something a little bit different and prioritizing other lines.
That's interesting, man. I can't wait to hear it. Let's talk about the second most popular pick person. It's Harry Boyd. He's either going to be your R3 or he's going to be your flex or maybe your R2. I don't know what's going on here, man. Harry Boyd,
not R2.
I had him in flex, man, for a while. Then I started getting cold feet a bit. Then I'm like thinking, okay, so this guy's got some pretty big scoring potential, we think. He can, if Marshall's not ready to go for the first maybe 3 or 4 rounds, I'd consider starting him at flex because he can probably pump out some scores. We want those big scores on the field. But I think if Marshall's going to be back within the 2-week mark, I don't know. What are your thoughts on that, man? What's your time frame for considering, man? What position?
Well, I think St Kilda lie, and I think what have they said? They've said 5 to 8 weeks or something with Marshall.
Yeah,
and I reckon it's more than that, and I'm going to bank on that. It's more than that, and I'm going to start him at hard 3, I think. But if I see something in, I don't know, the first 2 rounds and he's pumping out massive scores, I'm going to have to make way and get a loophole in there somehow. So yeah, starting with no loophole.
Yeah, okay. Does it all depend on how long Marshall's out? Or you're not going to trust whatever the Saints throw at us?
I will trust them if they say 3 months because that's how long I actually believe it will be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Rowan Marshall is also very injury prone, so having Harry Boyd there, um, I don't know. He'll if he's only there for what the first 4 weeks,
Mm.
um, I'm sure. Touch wood, he doesn't, but I'm sure Marshall will get injured again, and he'll be pumping out more scores. And
Yeah. Look, it's a shame about Marshall because he's got such a nice buy with that Fremantle. So you want to kind of get everyone to the St Kilda Fremantle buy. Let's see if I can get that up. Is that pumping up to? Look at this. So we're trying to avoid everyone with these early buys here. Gold Coast 2 buys, all these blokes. And then the round 12 one where you pretty much have the Butters, the Rosies, the Horn Francises, the Bonts, maybe Bailey Dale, Ed Richards if you're going a bit sneaky, Sherry, Sheasel, Caleb Daniel, Tom De Koning, and I think if I missed anyone. So we don't really want to load up on more people like that. So this buy is incredibly attractive. The Fremantle and St Kilda buy. I'll tell you right now. I don't know I don't know your ruck line, but I'm just going to say this. If anyone's got Sean Darcy in their team, they really need a reality check. Sean Darcy is not going to play more than 10, 15 games.
yeah, I agree with you. Sean Darcy, he did post a Instagram
So,
photo
yeah.
a couple of days ago or whatever, and he was looking a lot fitter than he has been. It still looks like there's a ways to go, but yeah, I can't see him playing more than 10, 15.
Look, yeah,
And
he might be. I think he just came back from Qatar or wherever the hell he did for his soft tissues and stuff like that. So he's come back, he's taken a photo, he looks a lot leaner. But I'm not worried about fitness is one thing, but I'm more worried about his durability and how easy those hammies and leg injuries go pang. So, and then Marshall's injured, so that kind of eliminates the 2 ruckmen in the round 13 bye, which is probably the best. There's no other teams there to get a bit of breathing room for the rest of the midfield primos that we want. So Marshall's injured, Darcy's out, Sherry's got this busy ass bye, but I think he might be one that we might need to consider. And let's just go back to see who else is in calculations here. So Tom De Koning. Now he's probably in 33% of teams, but in about maybe 50% of the people that really know what's going on. Because if Tom De Koning is getting a good run, and we're thinking hopefully with that Pitternet, he can score onwards and upwards after about 110 to 120.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
but I saw Pitternet. Are you going to mention Pitternet speaking to the news?
I didn't see that.
Yeah, so he said that he's looking forward to, playing with Tom in the ruck, and he said he might be spending a little bit more time forward. That being said, you think that Tom De Koning is going to be Carlton's #1 ruckman regardless. However, if I'm picking him round 1 and I'm locking him in and I see Pitternet in the team, that's going to be a very nervous wait. That's going to be a very nervous. Yeah, sure, Pitternet might get more time forward, but if he's in the same team with Tom, I don't know if he plays 23 games. I don't think Pitternet does, but I don't know, man. It's a bit of a risk. What do you think?
The issue is there's no way Pitnet can actually play forward. It's a bit like
He's trying.
He's trying. He's trying. I know. And Grundy tried, and that didn't work.
No, it didn't.
So, yeah, I've done a couple stats here
Yeah.
quickly. So with Pitnet, he played 7 games last year. He had 1 game when he was majority ruck, and he averaged 78.5.
Yep, yep.
And then without Pitto, 10 games, 117.6. So if Pitto's named in that round 1 lineup, everyone who has him has to jump off him and go to Sherry, I think. Or someone, or if you've already got Sherry, someone else. But
Is there any
yeah,
way we can pick Tom if Pitternet is in, knowing that we don't think that that Pitternet is good enough to be playing 23 games for Carlton this year? I know all the Blues fans, I see a lot of Blues pages saying surely he's not in our best 22. Surely if he gets a game, it won't be too many. Surely they have to go solo with Tom. If he's round 1, he's picked in with Tom, is it just abandoned ship?
I think it is. I couldn't. I can't watch those two play in the ruck together.
Yeah.
It would be hell. But yeah, I think with Tom also, he's uh in free agency at the end of the year. They're gonna want to
Yeah.
please his needs as much as possible. So
Yeah.
he's gonna have to be solo rucking if they want him to stay, I think. Because apparently he's getting offered 1.7 mil a year at St Kilda. So
How are they going to please his needs there?
yeah, yeah, they won't
Um,
be able to do that.
so that's an interesting one. Now here's Matt Flynn, who's still the fourth most highest picked ruckman. He went down with the injury. He's already recovered. It was quite minor. Um, Matt Flynn, he was a really good consideration with flex. Maybe Harry Boyd at R3, and then if Matt Flynn done what Matt Flynn does, which is suck, Harry Boyd comes in and can give him a bit of a chop out. Maybe too risky for you, or what do you think about Flinny?
He's my R2.
Is your R2?
Yep.
Whoa! Now are you
Yeah.
now? Is this based on the fact that you think he's going to be R1 and Williams is not going to be in the team with him?
I think Williams will play, but I think they're going to try him out up in the forward line. Well, that's what I've heard. So apparently Bailey Williams I think he was drafted as a forward.
Mhm.
So they
All
probably want
right.
to give him some time forward. The only issue with Flynn is he hasn't played more than 12 games in a year,
That
and
is an issue.
that is concerning. So the last 3 years he's played 12, 12, and 9.
And that's at
Sorry,
R2,
before
not even at
24.
flex.
Yeah, that's R2.
Oh, mate,
And
I got to take you to Vegas, mate, because I swear you're going to have a good night. Now, Matty
yeah,
Flynn, did his injury scare you at all? Did he go out of your team at all?
nah. It
No.
didn't, it was very minor, I think. I think he was only he stopped training for like
Yeah,
half a week
it
or
was
something.
minor, but like, that's the scare of someone who's always very injured, just getting a little niggle. It's like, but if he gets his projected score of 57 round one, are you going to be happy?
No, I will not. But I think if he stays on the park, he'll average between 85 and 90 because that's what he's done his whole career. So
Right.
it
Yeah.
and if he
Okay.
does that, it could be a very sneaky R2 pod.
What kind of ruck split are you thinking that he might be grabbing kind of this year with Williams? You're thinking 70-30, 50-50,
Yeah, about that 70-30, I think.
70-30.
Obviously, we don't know it's a bit of an unknown. We don't really know what his endurance is like. I don't think all the times came out for the West Coast 2K, but I can't imagine him being up
Does
there.
Ruckman even participate in the 2K time trial? Or that's
I
something
think they
chat on the
do. I think
sideline?
they do, but I
Crazy.
don't think that there's ever been a winner of the 2K being a ruckman.
Yeah, not yet
Um,
until big Harry Boyd comes along. But no, look, Tom Sims. I'm guessing everyone uses him for a bit. That's an interesting R2. Uh, Tom Sims, a bit of a flexible DPP. That's kind of if you got the Boyd at flex. Tom Sims is kind of your out to if he gets dropped. Harry Boyd gets dropped round one or round two or round three. If you got Sims as your ruck forward or any other ruck forward, you can use him to put Boyd on the bench, put Sims in the flex, and then bring on some of your forward line play. Then you can got your midfielders and your defense. So he's there for a bit of coverage for the people that have taken a bit of a gamble on Harry Boyd.
yep.
Now Maxi Gorn, the most highest priced ruckman. Now I will say that if Max Gorn at 670 is outrageous. Uh, that is an expensive Gorn. However, another negative, he's quite old now. His durability is still 21 games. Not what you want for 670, but he's another year older. What is he now? 30, 10,
I think
30.
I think he turns 34 in March or something. Or maybe just no, sorry, he turns 34 in December, so he's 33.
That's an old man. But Ruckman can do it a little bit longer than the midfielders at that age, but I think Ruckman actually peak around 29, 30. So, and when midfielders peak around 26, 27. So, Look, Gorn has only been considered by me for one reason, and that's if we bring you back to the buy, he's got no double buy, and he's the only other probably ruckman that's really solid that I like that doesn't have that round 12 buy. You pick him, and that might allow you to get yourself a Dacos or a Tom Green or someone else who does have an extra buy if you're missing too many people with that have the double buy. What are your thoughts on Maxi?
Um, yeah, I mean, maybe potentially someone to go to when if you have TDK and Sherry and you don't have any backup rucks, by that buy,
Yep.
maybe someone to go to. I can't bring myself to start a 33-year-old that's priced at 670K.
I preaching to the choir here, mate. I hate my oldies in Supercoach, so
Yeah.
I can tell you categorically I won't be getting Max Gorn, but for those of you who are, I do like the fact that he has a really nice buy. So let's bring this one over again. Here we go. Maxi's doesn't have these early buys. He only has this buy, which I imagine a lot of teams in round 15 don't have the Adelaide, many Crows, Hawks, Demons, or Eagles players. Everyone will be having all these round 12s. You got Max Gorn, you might have a Clary, you might have a Rankin or Dylan Moore, even though Dylan Moore's got an early buy. You might have Flynn. But look, I think Max Gorn's got one of the best buys for a ruckman, other than these two Muppets. And but other than that, man, 34 years old, I can't do it. And I think I'm ruling him out at this stage and just copying a hit in one of the earlier buys.
Yeah, and he's definitely gonna have some ceiling score like 180, and we're all gonna regret not picking him. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't bring myself to do it.
If you get Max Gorn, you can always get Tom Campbell at a very low price to kind of mitigate the risk if Maxi misses any, because they give him the old man syndrome, give him a bit of a rest against, the Eagles or something. But um, yeah, look, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money to put in. And when you think that Tom De Koning is at least what 120-ish K, or so less than him, even Sherry cheaper and younger. Yeah, that's a no. So Lukey J, hate him. Don't want him. Great buy. Don't know why he's in 12%. He's pretty shit. He started off getting some good ruck scores early in 2024. He played majority ruck, but now Freo have kind of said we want to have him forward. Even if Sean Darcy gets injured, they're probably going to get Liam Reedy or Reddy or whatever the hell his name is, and they're going to play him as the ruck and still have Jackson forward. I think dual position helps, but I don't like him at all.
Yeah, I think the only people that are picking him are the people that haven't seen that news.
Yeah.
To be honest, yeah, unless he does play ruck when Darcy's out, there's no way. I started him last year, had the ultimate high,
Yep.
and
And
then
also
the
North
ultimate
Melbourne.
low when he started doing crap. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm
no,
not
no
just
go.
hoping, come on, Jackson, do good enough so everyone else gets you, so I don't have to, suffer with them. But look, Luke Jackson obviously has a great buy, forward ruck, very enticing. He's just a forward. So if you want to get a half a mil forward, get Luke Jackson. But not for me. Not for me.
Yeah.
Now, Team English only in 10% of teams. I am pretty hot about Team English. Let me tell you right now. Team English, obviously, he was I think the first or second highest scorer last year, either him or Bond. And he has a real potential and he's younger. He obviously had that abdominal injury. He's already back training and running and all that kind of stuff. Does have that busy buy, but if you're going to be substituting a Sherry or a DeConing with him, you're not really copping a hit. You're just going sideways for that buy. Tim English, I like the pick. Probably in my maybe top 3 or 4 considerations for Ruckman this year. What about you, mate?
Yeah, he's up there for me. Definitely, there's a lot we know the upside. He averaged 128 the year before, so there's definitely a world where I can see him going above 120.
Yeah.
He did have a little abdominal injury like a week ago. I think he's
Yep.
back training in full training now, so I don't think it was nothing really to be concerned about. Um, but yeah, it's tough. There's so many Rucks with that stupid buy, and they're
There
the
is.
only Rucks that seem relevant.
Mm.
Um,
So we
but
might even have to cop the hit in that buy for Ruckman and then maybe try and branch out a bit with other players, forwards, mids, defenders when it comes to that buy. All right, so we're going to be
yeah,
flooded with round 12 players that are not playing, and a lot of people are going to catch up to you if you don't. So Tim English, 581. That's a nice price when you
yep.
consider that he was over 700,000 the year before. So I don't mind him at all. We already spoken about Sean Darcy. 6% of the people are fools. Now, Darcy Cam, he has this is the first ruckman I think we've come across that has the double buy. Uh,
Yep.
the first ruckman that you're going to be missing 2 games. So if you want to get a pod, you want to make sure they're doing good. But if a pod is going to be missing a game early in the season and a game early, you're going to be like, a premium score behind the rest. That's a point of difference of everyone else. So while I get the Darcy Cameron pick, he was in a big purple patch on the run home. I think he was averaging 120 or something gigantic like that on the run home. Um, does the buy make it not a good pick, or is he still worth it?
Nah, I don't think he's worth it. As a Collingwood fan, he obviously had his breakout year last year. I also can't really see mass improvement
Yeah.
this year, and for the price as well, there's not much value in the pick.
There's not much. You can pick him
So
to be a keeper to the end of the year and hope he outscores the Sherrys, Englishes, the Conings, Gawns of the world. And that's a bit of a risky play, especially when he's missing an extra game. So if you like him 5%, we're not going to talk about everyone. Lloyd Meek, I hear Reeves is training the house just as hard as down as he is. Could be a good pick, could go, but if Reeves is still considered a very highly talented ruckman that they want to be using and he's having a great preseason, that's a bit scary for me. Especially at 557,000. I can find a ruckman that's not going to be challenged by anyone.
yeah, I do see improvement from Meek, but obviously, yeah, the Reeves factor. I think he's better than Reeves. I don't think Reeves is going to get much game time, but yeah, I once again probably more value in other picks, and he's got the double buy, so
Yeah, well, let's just rule out Grundy completely. He started pretty good and he started burning out real hard, and he has the double buy. Very
yeah,
unattractive. Darcy Fort, we don't think the big O is going to be out long enough for him to be covered. Is that right?
yeah, I do believe that. There's also a world I see them playing
Both.
double ruck,
Hmm.
because Joe Danaher's now gone,
Yes.
but yeah, I think it's a sneaky pick. I don't mind it.
Don't mind
Um,
it. Yeah. Oh, a good thing with 40 is we get to see him play round zero before we want to push any chips in the
exactly.
middle for him. So if he's churning out a beautiful 30 and subbed at half time, then yeah, maybe not.
Yeah.
Jordan Sweet marriage, who knows? Kieran Briggs, double buy. Um, I think we're now getting to the absolute turd pile at the bottom of the dumpster. You like, oh, what about the Nank?
The
1% of
name.
teams, he actually has a good buy.
He does have a good buy. He's a cheeky selection.
1%? Can't believe people have more Jared Witts than Nank. Tell me about that.
I think I think the idea with Nank is you probably trade him in at round 12 if you are going to pick him. I like because as a starting pick, it's probably a bit too risky,
Is it?
even though
I
he
mean, what did he
uh
averaged
I think that's his
110
highest
last year?
I think that's his highest average ever.
It is, it is.
Yeah.
And he hasn't been missed the consistency with games played. I know he's had 2 years in the last maybe 4 or 5 where he's played over 20. So but that being said, we are looking at a very limited amount of options. Nank does have, I mean, I'm telling you right now, I like Nank more than any of the last 5 ruckmen we've spoken about. And he's only 1% of teams. So Nank's a pretty good pod. Uh, Personally, not for me. I already have my ruckman in mind. I've got a good top 3 or 4 that I'm considering, which is probably going to be, if I can be real, it's going to be Tom DeConing, Tim English, Tristan Sherry, and maybe think about, something like, look how slow this is going. Maybe gone. But, I'm pretty locked into them ones, mate. So, final thoughts?
Final thoughts. Probably Sherry. There's upside, but he's priced correctly. TDK, I reckon just get him in now, and if Pito comes back, sack him off. And then Matt Flynn, get him at R2. Get him at R2.
Matt Flynn, get him at R2. You're encouraging all your people to get Matt Flynn at R2. Now,
No,
let's just say you woke up one day and you decided to not pick Matt Flynn at R2. Who are we thinking?
Probably Sherry.
Probably Sherry. Okay, and you know where you're going to get the cash from in your team to make that upgrade, about a 400K?
Yeah, I've had teams with Sherry in and out, so
Okay.
I know how to. I got to sacrifice Primo somewhere else, but that's fine.
Yeah, look, mate, I hope you stick with him because, you're not alone. He's 24% of teams and he's in the top 4 picked ruckman in SuperCoach 2025 at this stage of the year, which I think it's insane. I know there's limited options, but good buy, good price, maybe a positional improvement. The right things are there, so it could work out. So thanks for joining us, SuperCoach God. Let everyone know where they can find you on the socials.
Yeah, so I've got Twitter, it's SuperCoach God on Twitter, it's SuperCoach God on YouTube that I post quite frequently. And where else? That's about it, really.
That's about it. And I always thought at the first one, I thought you SuperCoach got it because of the YT at the end and wasn't capitalized, but it's all making sense to me now, mate. I'm switching on. And for all you SuperCoach masters that have tuned in, thanks so much for breaking my balls all year, telling me to do a podcast. You're the reason I'm here. So make sure you buy a polo. These are just sexy, and they're actually dry fit. See, as you can see them at the beach and not even sweating. So thanks a lot, guys, and thanks a lot to the SuperCoach guy for joining us on a big Ruck blockbuster. And let me know how your team is, and let me know what Rucks you're choosing. So cheers, mate, and I'll see you then.
Yeah.